Welcome to your Game On Ottawa Daily News for October 29th, 2024. I'm Michael Czar, and the Sens are set to face off against the St. Louis Blues for the first time this season, with some surprise call-ups, some minor roster moves, including lineup changes, and another player making their season debut for the season. Before that happens, let's talk about Hyperdrive Hockey. Hyperdrive Hockey is the flagship podcast of the Game Over Network channel, talking about all things hockey, all things Canadian teams, as well as everything around the league in terms of bigger news. Max and Daphne will bring topics from comedy to more serious topics to your ears and your eyes if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure to tune in every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes, usually towards the middle of the day, especially for us Easterners here in Ottawa. And there'll be a new episode coming out today, so make sure to tune into the Game Over Network channel on YouTube or on thegameovernetwork.com to get your latest fix on Hyperdrive Hockey. Now, back to the Sens. As for your latest news about the Sens, before their game against the Blues today at 7 p.m. here at home in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, we have two recalls. As I mentioned the other day, Gaudette got sent down to the minors, although we all predicted he'd probably return for this game against St. Louis, and we were right, though Cole Reinhardt is not following him. Instead, it is Zach Ostapchuk making his season debut for the Ottawa Senators proper. After a pretty middling preseason, he seems to have caught a little bit of form down there in Belleville, and now Travis Green and the Senators are giving him a chance to play. But not only on the team, but he's actually filling in Pinto's role on the third line. So he's getting a pretty significant position on the team for him to fill in, where Cole Reinhardt filled in on the fourth line effectively whenever he got called up. And as for other news as well, for Sens fans who are really big fans of Mathieu Joseph, as I was, unfortunately he won't be playing today due to some sort of injury reasons. He was sent back to St. Louis for further evaluation, according to the Blues and Bruce Garriock. So there won't be any tribute video or, fans cheering for Joseph and his return this time around. So while we do have some familiar faces still, not only on the Blues team, but in the Blues organization, it's more so the fact that Joseph was our most recent Sens player, and he won't be at the game tonight, though there is an opportunity that maybe the Sens will see him again in the future. As for this game against the Blues, there were some minor line changes. In fact, Travis Green seems to be trying to keep the line similar to what adjustments he made towards the end of the Colorado game, where the Sens fought back and almost stole at least a point from the Colorado Avalanche in a game they were pretty down in for most of the game. These new lineups include Tkachuk, Stützle, and Gregg on the first line, Giroux, Norris, and Batherson on the second, Gregor, Ostapchuk, and Amadio on the third, leaving the fourth line of Cousins, Gaudette, McEwen, just as it was whenever the season began. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Ostapchuk has a pretty big role to fill, filling in Pinto while he's still injured, as you can see here on the board. But at the same time, Gregg's promotion to the first line seems to be a good way to maybe spark some more energy into the top six, where if there's one thing Ridley Gregg will always do, it's play with energy. So seeing that top six perform better, I mean, the second line's been great as of late. Both Giroux and Batherson have been outstanding, and Norris has filled in that position as the second line center very well. I do feel like the first line has kind of tapered off a bit since the first couple of injuries we had in the first couple of games. And while obviously the Kings game is a great reminder of how good the top six can be whenever they're hitting, the Sens do need a little bit of refreshment, and Gregg will provide that. Also, yesterday when I talked in a little bit about Sanderson and Hamonic as the top pair, their stats, how they've been performing as of late in their struggles, someone brought that up to Travis Green towards the press conference earlier today as well. He said, quote, they were okay, as well as, quote, they had some good games, as well as some not as good games as they'd like. And it is a necessity that those two are playing together. They're not going to be playing together once Zub is healthy. But depending on how long Zub is out, I don't think it's that good of a thing to have Sanderson with Hamonic. I actually think that maybe just for one game, if this continues to be a problem, they should swap Jacob Bernard-Docker and Hamonic in the lineup and see how that goes. But as of right now, Sanderson and Hamonic are sticking together. We got that lineup confirmed for today as well. And we will see how it goes. Let me know what you think about the Sanderson-Hamonic pair in the comments below. Do you agree with the testaments and the points I brought up yesterday? Or do you feel like maybe they deserve a little bit of slack, considering that, especially for Hamonic, the role he was thrust into, as opposed to what he naturally was expected to get throughout the season? But also, while you're down there in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe to keep us going over here in Game Over Ottawa, as well as the Game Over Network in general. But that is all for your Game Over Ottawa news for October 29th, 2024. I'm Michael Czar, and make sure to tune into the Game Over Ottawa post-game stream tonight after the game, probably around 9:30, 9:45 p.m., to see how the Sens did against the Blues, and have Damien and Nick talk about it in a little bit more detail. And then after that's over, make sure to come back tomorrow while I'll talk about the Game On Ottawa Daily News once again, not only about how this previous game went, but the Sens' upcoming games as well. Thank you once again, and go Sens go.